most recent piece that I wrote. It's called Project Artificial Intelligence. And it basically has to do with the way that technology has separated us from humanity as a whole. So I hope there's a blessing to everyone. I'm not going to use a mic.
Jesus.
See, the malice of Atlantis we practice in this atlas, which is an active status of this apparatus madness. For we're so zealous to be jealous with this fashion that we relish, when the blemish is angelic, metallic, and majestic. I tend to wreck this magnetic goat, which is the code man coat, the matrix man code that chose a different mode. Look, in the future, I won't quote their throats on flying boats, for this book I wrote was read by red barcodes. I dread the pathetic dead lamb's plans, for I'm not a fan of being scanned or being branded. No access granted or patches planted on this planet. No phantom stranded in this status palace that I soon will abandon. For the frozen, forgotten forest is coming toward us as we accept the replica of America that rewards us with these defects that have no regrets. Now I can't forget to connect. I'm so perplexed that her spirit's hex is identical as heck. Now that's me depressed, misimpress America, for she closes the retina within her nebula. These clones are clothed in the age of her cellular. I escape the regular as I master my molecular level, laying secular logical slickness on bright nimbus. Listen, my stellar measure is so secular, so I treasure his witness with these Olympus lyrics. I'm about my kingdom business, physical and fitness, with this lyrical litness that exposes this vicious sickness. It's specific. My prolific limit is too intrinsic to mimic the gimmick of the mystic. Jesus. I know that I risked it all. I now know my call. Rip these robot rappers' rhymes with their lines. For dear pathetic while I'm athletic with these verbal calisthenics. No competitive academics, just basic ethics. No contenders, I just remember the center. The metaphor member, which are his red letters that are better than these predators. Complex creditors, these history editors are no competitors. So do not become concepts out of context, or projects out of prospects, or prospects of objects. Yeah. But they compress the atlas and stress the active status. Listen, this apparatus is madness, so I'm glad that soon it hits like hit sticks and blitz. We escape and split right to the great state. Now, hook on and saddle. Don't wait at the gate. Look on and battle against the cable. Attempt to be able, for their tactic is the fable that tempts with the fable of the galactic federation of lights. Look, their drastic deprivation I fight. I pivot left and right in the midst of the night. My might is the light that marks the dark spark in the heart like Tony Stark. I park my lightsaber next to Vader's layers. For these space invaders lace the anchors with their paper. A makeshift creator from Sega, their Genesis formed Vegas. Listen. Alpha and Omega's bliss will dismiss the nemesis into the abyss. So resist the raiders, for their vapors are the players, the chaser of paper, the razor of nature, the created against the creator. Now do me a favor, let me taste the flavor of your neighbor. Is it the paper or the anchor that makes you faker? Understand that sooner or later it will all be in the crater ran by our created crusaders. Now we become traitors with these marks that cut like razors. For their scissors is the figure of wizards. I wage war against these lizard beings that are one-eyed seeing, agreeing to being a slave to the monetary caves. Understand that God saves. With Jesus he opened up the graves. This is the way for the brave, the truly saved. So make way with these beings that are bright. Careful. I bite back or right like crest. I attack the plaque in the back with the best. I guess we are safe in a nest in the breasts of America, possessed and obsessed by your own request. Now hit the deck, for you're stressed over obtaining your rest. For your vest can stop bullets from hitting your chest. But your mullet is what I test. In the Lord's booklet we must invest. From the Middle East down to the Southwest. I suggest that like Link, we open up the chest and start to think with these items that are more precious than diamonds and rupees. The problem is when we see these goodies and devices, we turn them to science. Then our intellect somehow becomes recycled through prizes. These are our exciting accessories, which are the memories of centuries within the history of our city's necessities. This is our public built recipe for destruction. Our seduction is the plenty of the trendy. These extraterrestrials extract the fact from a section of their own spectrum. Now it's back to the future with Next. Now it's back to the future with Lexus. And next is the artificial intelligence that is to be expected when you trust in the nexus of a different galaxy. Yes. Yeah. I bet this rhyme climb above some spines, but I'm fine. I stick to the script and give the hits that drip, the blood that drip, that heavy stick that rips the feel in half. I latch on to the staff that will stick to the heart like glue, for I know that the views would be skewed by the dragon's cue that took the crowns to the ground. I rumble with their Masonic mumbo jumbo, for their monastic against my mutation like that's gonna excite me like, yeah, right, look, tonight I'm dressed in white linen against these sarcastic plastic animations of a nation in starvation. My motivation is a proclamation that gives aspiration to an entire nation. By my calculation and careful calibration, I examine the altercation, which is my devastation of contemplation. Look, get on a higher molecular level. Don't stay as a secular settler. Red alert, Bert and Ernie. I was told in my 30s that game attorneys would be my journey, while I'm fighting in this land where we have the freedom to freely live damned. What are we doing? How are you doing? What are you doing? How are you pursuing? Are you in the ruins following the druids that are fluid while they're doing it within the rhythm of the system that lacks wisdom? Look, we need to listen before speech. This is how we reach, preach, teach, by seeking the meat, feeding the milk with meat. Let us build and reap with silk. The temple is built complete to proceed, following his deep feet. I know it can be sometimes so steep, but so on fleek of the blood and water, sweat red steps of the sublime that is aligned right to the mind that is blind, to the lion heart that is so apart from my acorn that forms a storm out of the norm. That means that my mind constantly transforms and shifts with these faces that are meshed in their own hiss. This is our galactic gift, to get the devil's phones to split, the supreme swift. You feel the drift, lift your hands out of the abyss. You're stressed by your blessed bliss. Now, my best wish. My best wish is for the world to be rich in resources, and not our sources that are the thoughts formed by flying saucers that strike with the force to fool with these fools' gold. They won't fold until all souls are sold. They hold the physical attacks on blacks' backs and shift into the spiritual attack on the skull that was cracked by the snapback's lack of knowledge. A third of the fallen planted on their planet their seed, and to the woman's daughters indeed, a sickening creed, the different breed that supersedes their own greed to believe that they can actually be free from he who proceeds past eternity. Infinity certainly must have never heard of we. So why are we uttering for these king jewels when these fools drool to follow the cool? Nope, not chance, not even a duel. I'm spiritually schooled as God supplies the tools. I'm on a climate that's higher than Orion's alignments. My assignment is to change my environment, rhyming with no retirement in mind against these giant riots. My timing is compliant to his highness. No more crying and lying. The world at silence, the war with science. I can no longer remain in compliance or contain the quiet. The planet's alignment current state. Wait. I'm not even trying with these lying, dying giants and tyrants when the lion of Zion remains vibrant. The brightness that the darkness cannot contain. No more biased guidance. In him life is timeless. His kindness is priceless. To live in his likeness is our highest, mightiest gift. Let's make him the pilot, take off with the lift. A different climate, I constantly exist to assist. He unshackles the wrist, which is the crisis of the virus. Be blindless and not mindless. Take righteous steps. So what's next with this life that is so complex? Concern yourself not with the context of time. It continues to unwind, but your crime is the issue. I got my jiu-jitsu against the prime progress. conflict with their conquest and rhyme against their concepts of vortex projects. I look behind mankind and remind them how they're unkind to their own kind. The sublime is now defined as a damned lamb. Lord, slam against this land of contraband. You command that I demand. In this quicksand I stand still and follow his will. The thrill of not chasing the bills. He gives the skills until I reach the top of the hill. Drop my top and head under my heels. Give God the props, right to the pops, right from the top. Look down from the top. We need to stop and fulfill the real. Chill, the red pill made hip-hop pop right into MTV stocks that will flip-flop. Like it or not, buddy, your body will soon drop. So don't stop the creative projects. Off to the block, off to the projects. We flock in the block where it's hot. I knock and unlock and point at the clock. Time value's not your waste. It's not your place to live in this rat race. Just keep up the pace. Notice when you get the ace. Don't be forced to be first. I reckon you're looking for second. Learn your lessons. Battle with your weapons in the presence. You will be a legend in heaven with a real treasure to pleasant. In his word, no care for third. Live free as a bird. Forget about fourth. Come forth from the south to the north. Since the birth of earth, he knew your worth. We turn down a gift for a curse. Follow close to fifth, or steady at six, or even at seven. Understand and listen that there is no currency or journey more worthy than eternity in heaven.